Welcome back to another Brews and Beliefs episode. It's been like 2 years since I tried to make another series, but because of college, you know, as I explained in my other videos, that it's extremely hard to make videos consistently. And it still is, even though I'm out of college, because like there's people moving in too, so there's like stuff like all over the apartment right now. Starting Brews and Beliefs again. I made lavender iced latte. And for today's episode of Brews and Beliefs, we are going to be talking about a theory about the afterlife. And I have multiple different theories that I have, but I'm just going to do this one as the first one. I did my eyebrows off camera, and what I used was the Anastasia Beverly Hills in Granite, because I like my eyebrows to be darker. And I use Maybelline's Dream by, it's BB Fresh. Sorry, I'm not a beauty guru, but I decided to do my makeup also while I do this. Makeup look I'm going to go for today is feeling like earthy brown colors. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And get started. I'll be using this Morphe by X James Charles palette, and I'm also using it as my mirror. This theory about the afterlife. I was in the paranormal club in my college. I did a lot of podcasts with different psychics, so I've had 2 different psychics tell me about this theory, and I think it was very interesting because I've never like heard of something like this. I guess you guys can tell me below what you think about it. When I was doing this podcast, they described it as there's multiple theories about, you know, if there's like heaven and hell and stuff like that. This one kind of did it like has another chance. So instead of there being like a literal hell like we think of as we do, of like when you pass, you go into a life review of your life with your spirit guide. You review your life, anything that you had difficulties with, like vices and stuff like that, you would have to go down to this thing called the redemption realm. And so the redemption realm, place where you have to pretty much like fight your demons off, and then you can like come back from it. So like I guess like basically like fighting your sins off. So let's say you lived a life and you were like a super like greedy person, then you would go into the redemption realm because it's like broken up into different dimensions. You go down to the redemption realm and then literally fight the demon. So like if it was greed, then you would go literally fight the greed demon. And if you lose, then you can go back to like the whole dimension of where you have your life review and stay there to rest, to gain strength, to go back down, to go fight the greed demon or whatever demon that you have to go down and fight. And then once you beat that demon, then you can move on into like the next dimensions. The thing I'm using is the 𝙴𝙧 by Benefit bronzer. And in this theory about the afterlife, there is a hierarchy. So the hierarchy is that there is like a God source, not the same God as that there is in the Bibles, but like a God like being that's at the top, like a energy. And then there is angels and guardian angels, like spirit guides. And after them is animals. And then after animals, it's humans and aliens. And I know you're thinking, humans and aliens, that's kind of weird. But a part of this theory is that aliens and humans are the same exact species. We're all made out of like the same type of souls. You can't like really go around the ranks really. So like basically like concept believes in reincarnation. So you can't just like reincarnate as like a bunny if you wanted to. You can only reincarnate as another human or an alien, to us, an alien, and things like that. Also in this theory, it is also said that we have a limited amount of reincarnations. So we don't just keep reincarnating and reincarnating and reincarnating. They said that you have between 7 to 12 times. And the reasoning is because that this is the amount of time you have to fix everything that you've been doing wrong. So you keep reincarnating and reincarnating until you learn all your lessons. And supposedly it takes 7 to like 12 times to learn all those lessons. And then after that, you can go into source, which is basically all sorts of energy. You know how like the theory of everyone is connected as one source of energy, like no matter where they are, like someone across the planet has the same energy as you, and then plants and everything like that has energy. And so that is what the source is in this belief, where after you learn all your lessons you get to become enlightened and go into source, since you can't reincarnate anymore after you hit your limit. So right now I'm using the 𝖵𝖆𝖊𝖏 loose powder because I like to have my face to be like completely matted, or like as matted as possible. My face is very hydrated, so I need to kind of get the mattness. Anyway, what do you guys think about this theory? I think it's very interesting. Like, I never heard of a theory like this before ever in my life, but I think like some of it makes sense, but the other ones don't. Like, for example, like for me, I don't think I really believe in the whole like 7 or like to 12 times of being reincarnated, but I don't know, that could just be me because anything forever sounds terrifying. Like, you know, like never having the option to come back again, or like there being like nothing, that kind of stuff like freaks me out. So that could be a reasoning why I am biased to say that it doesn't end after the 12 times. I always find these like theories very interesting because it's like one I never heard of. Like, most people have heard of things such as heaven and hell, or like a reincarnation, just basic reincarnation where you just come back. But I never heard about hierarchy type thing, and maybe it's just because of where I was around. Like, I was raised like Catholic, but I just never heard of this kind of theory before. And I also thought it was interesting how aliens are mixed in at the same level as humans. I always see aliens as, you know, being like some completely different like species, because I believe in aliens, if you haven't realized, because I think it's insane to not believe in aliens, because there's literally trillions of galaxies and like we're the only intelligent life. I feel like that's kind of a little arrogant to think that we're the only ones here. So, and besides, that theory was very interesting because like I guess it kind of makes sense a little bit. It's like, why not? Like we wouldn't know. Like, how would we know if they're like a entirely different like species, you know? Like, how would we know that, really? Unless we somehow are able to interact with them, I guess, in like some form. But again, like, it hasn't been like completely like proven, because like I know for me, like I believe in aliens and I think people have made contact with aliens, but to some people, like, it hasn't been recognized because public knowledge for the most part to confirm for like the majority of the population to know for a fact aliens exist. Like, for example, we all know dogs and cats exist, but not necessarily aliens. Not everyone believes in them, you know. It's kind of interesting how 2 different psychics told me this theory. Like, podcasts that I have, you can watch them on Facebook if you want. It's completely public, these podcasts, on the Alpha State Paranormal Society Facebook page. And so if you want to go see that, definitely check them out because they're quite interesting, because 2 different psychics said it. I asked, since the podcast asking a question there, like as in how did they get this information? And they said that they got like downloads, like their spirit guides came to them and told them that this is how it is in the afterlife. And so what I find interesting about this is that their spirit guides told them this, right? But then also, like, there's other people's spirit guides tell them other theories. Because I watch a YouTube channel called Gold Rush Paranormal, and he does pretty much spirit box sessions with ghosts. And I find it interesting how, you know, for him, like, his is confirmed for heaven and hell, like the standard Christian Catholic like viewpoint of heaven and hell. But then these other ones have told them about, you know, the one I just explained. And so I find it very interesting because that's the weird thing about metaphysics, is that like we never actually know exactly what is the truth. And that's why there is multiple theories, and this is the first theory that I have been able to discuss with everyone for Brews Beliefs. And if you guys are interested, I can 100% do other theories, because there is multiple, and there is some definitely strange ones that I've heard from my interactions with people in the spirituality like movements, and you know, like people who are into metaphysics and things like that. Okay, so I had to do my eye makeup without speaking because I just could not. This is a lot harder than it looks, and I give 𝐵𝖊𝖓 a lot of credit for this. But for now, I am using the e.l.f. H2O Proof eyeliner pen. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this eye look. Okay, so to end this video extremely shortly, my mascara I use 𝖬𝖊𝖓 Retro Glam. For my lips, I'm going to use Neutrogena Moisture Smooth Color Stick, and this is literally the perfect shade for me. What do you guys think about that theory? Like I said, for me, I think I believe in a little bit of it, but not all of it. But what do you think? Tell me down below. And then if you have other theories or ideas that you want me to film for Brews and Beliefs, then let me know. And like, comment, and subscribe.